All right, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and this is episode 47 of my custom Kingdom Death Monster campaign. And this is Lantern Year 15, the settlement phase. So we just got back from fighting our first level 2 monster, which was a Screaming Antelope, which was a success. And now we're going to reap our rewards. I'm just double checking the video feed right now. Looks like there's a slight delay. One sec. Okay, looks like it's good. Alright. So what you have set up here is a lot of KDM shit. So here are all of the resources that I have here and here. These here are equipment I was thinking about purchasing, paired up with what I would spend on it. These are all of my locations. This is what I'm going to spend to innovate, if I'm able to, this Lantern Year. I have 6 endeavors that you see, and what I plan on doing, and everything is shuffled, ready to go. There's going to be 2 settlement events, but no triggered story events unless they pop up. And my innovation deck and my current principles and innovations are here. Alright, so let's kick this baby off. So you know the drill. What I follow the process-wise is the steps here. But you know what? I'm not going to waste time going through it. I've already done it multiple times. If you're watching this, you've seen prior episodes. Let's just go. Alright, so first thing I do is returning survivors. So I remove all temporary tokens, and I heal all damage. So all of these tokens go away. Till another day. And then I repair armor, any physical damage, mental damage, but I keep the survival and insanity values where they currently stand. Okay, so Talkin should have 5 and 4 multiple places, so he took a little bit of damage. Should be 5, 4, 4, 5, 4. And then he does have Croprolalia, meaning he will always be a threat regardless. One of his disorders. Sona should be 2 everywhere. So gotta repair a couple places. Did take heavy damage to the chest and the waist. Repair those. And currently has no disorders. And did recently become the Orator of Death. That once per Showdown, all survivors can get 2 insanity as an action. In other words, can spend action, everyone gets 2 insanity. Which is pretty awesome for keep people up. Jer should have 3 everywhere. Took a little bit of damage. And does have still the honorable disorder that if I hit the monster when it's knocked, that I can't hit a monster if it's knocked down or its blind spot. And then Oko should have 5-4 combos, so it took a little bit of damage to the chest. Actually, no, did not. Didn't take any damage because it all went to his insanity, which currently is at 2. So it's not insane. But I will heal the brain damage. and does have 6 movement. I actually keep forgetting that all the fucking time. Everyone else has 5. And even the white line person, it doesn't gain the bonus movement from the white line boost because I don't have all of the affinities. But Oko, remember, won that triathlon race, and that's why it has a permanent +1 movement. Keep forgetting about that. And it may not actually matter, and you'll find out why. Okay, dun, dun, dun. Oh, so I was playing FF7, got the songs stuck in my head. Okay, so everybody's healed, and temporary stuff is removed. Now, does anything proc when people return? The one person has something that procs when people return is Tinker and Cooking, the fact that I get an additional endeavor from both. And that's why I have 6 endeavors. And so now I get my endeavors, of which I get 6. Boom. Alright. Next up, make sure, is we update the timeline. And then we do settlement events. Okay, so timeline, we are now on Lantern Year 15. And what's scheduled is a random settlement event and murder, but we'll do murder last. And then we can hunt something later this Lantern Year, which most likely is going to be a level 2 Screaming Antelope again. But there's also the possibility of hunting a level 1 Phoenix, but I'm hesitant about getting resources that I might have to get rid of. They're really good, just because I have Hands of Heat coming up the following year. Okay, so let's do it. So I've already drawn, shuffled. So these are the 2 events. Let's see what happens. The first one is Rivalry. I do not think I have seen this one before. So I'll show you what it looks like. Don't worry about trying to read it. I just want to give you an idea what the card looks like. Basically, just story stuff. Some you roll for stuff. You possibly just choices, and then you roll for, and then possible. How a lot of these get work is you roll or you make it this choice, or depending on what happens, certain things trigger. But it's a whole rainbow of different things that could happen during these settlement events. Okay, so this one says Rivalry. If there are less than 2 returning survivors, discard Rivalry and draw a new event. We have 4 returning, so not a problem. Select 2 random returning survivors. They begin to argue, and their screams rouse the settlement. So it is random. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the dice for everybody. Actually, no, I don't have to do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll roll dice for everybody, and the highest 2 numbers will argue with each other. That is what I will do. So we got a 10, got a 6, got a 3, and we got a 4. So the 2 people that could argue with each other are the 2 on the side here. So Sona and Taken, who are both, if you recall, twins, are arguing with each other. So we have a sibling rivalry going on right now. So Taken and Sona are arguing with each other. Okay, let's see what happens. Next, looks like I rolled D10, which it should have told me to roll. So that's what I mean. Like sometimes on these cards, they just don't have enough information. Like they tells you get 2 return survivors, and then you see a table. It should say roll a D10. You know, just to confirm what you're supposed to do. Anywho. Okay, so that's a 6. So when you have a 6, The two rivals immediately come to blows. Randomly choose one of the two rivals to suffer a gaping chest wound, severe injury. Add rivalry to the next year on the timeline. God. Seriously? Now argue, like first, like we had Hands of Heat, that now that became a fucking tradition that was a pain because it ate resources. Then we got the tradition, then we got the repeat of Hooded Visitor, who kept maiming whoever had the Twilight Sword, which is on the timeline. Then we started getting the Skull Eater, which triggered murder, which is now repetitively on the timeline. And now we're going to have rivalry, people fighting repetitively on the timeline. Just, oh, God. These things. Okay. So one of the things it does say is, to stop the rivalry, I can do a duel that takes 2 endeavors, and I can roll to try to stop this and remove it from the timeline. But depending on how low I roll, more people die. But first thing I do is gaping chest wound. So I have to randomly choose who gets a gaping chest wound. So this will be odds and evens, because I normally have odd be the male. So it's odd number. So Talkin gets a gaping chest wound. But you're like, hey, that sounds pretty bad. Well, it's pretty bad. I have to look up exactly what it does again, but gaping chest wound. Now look at the book to see exactly what that does again. I want to say it's -1 speed and then something else, but I'll check. Because Volva got that as well, as did Isma. No. Suffer -1 permanent strength and get a bleed token. The bleed token doesn't matter because you're in the settlement and all tokens go away, but -1 permanent strength. Let's keep the book over here. Okay, so strength, I make it be -1, which his strength is currently +2, so this goes to 1, and 5 goes to 4. Okay. And then, unless I have the 2 people duel, this is going to continue on the timeline. Okay, do I want the people to duel? I mean, if you duel, that means they're going to seriously attack each other instead of just arguing. Let's see, let me see if that severely disrupts my plans. Like, I want to innovate. I want to do ammonia. I don't have to scavenge. I definitely want to do battle because I want to have a new set of people go out. Battle paint. And then I want to innovate twice. Not innovate. Shadow ritual twice to share traits with other people. But if I at least do it once. So technically I could try to get rid of rivalry. I mean, it looks like it's not even a try. If you do a duel, you pay for it, you remove it from timeline. But depending on how you roll, determines how many people die and have terrible things happen. don't really want to lose people. So... shit. Well... I mean, God. What do I do? What to do, what to do. I just don't want to lose. I just don't want people to die. That's the thing. People are arguing. But if somebody dies, that would stop the arguing. What is my population? Population is currently 12. You know what? I think I'm going to keep it, because I think the most important thing right now is ensuring the survival of the civilization. If this still becomes a problem when this comes up again, then I'm worried about at that time. So I'm going to add rivalry again to the to here. So I'm going to record that we did it, and then I'm going to record that it's going to come up again. So we have a lot of settlement events that are happening. Next year, this could be Hands of Heat, and Hooded Knight, and Random, and Rivalry again. Okay? Alright. So that's done for now. People fought, but it's like, okay, man, we got work to do, so if this continues, we'll escalate the de-escalation at a later time. Alright, so next up, we do have murder. And this is why I'm like, so someone in the settlement has been murdered. The survivor with the highest hunt experience is the victim. Which sadly is Ogo, who it was one away from retirement, but the only way you retire in this settlement is by death. So he by far has the most hunt experience, even without checking, definitely. And the murderer, I can never say that word, murderer. The murderer is the survivor with the highest insanity was caught in the act. So who has the highest insanity? That I don't know, I have to check. Definitely nobody that returned because they got blasted from the Screaming Antelope for insanity. It looks like the person with the highest insanity is Emily. Emily, what are you doing? What are you doing? So Emily killed Oko. So first I want to record that happened, how Oko died, and update the death toll and all that shit. And then also I'm going to make a note that since Emily killed Oko, Emily will get the advantage of the dark trait, that she gets a bonus stat. And the civilization, since we find the body, can do cannibalism. So there is good stuff that came from it. Of course, that's a good point also. If I stop rivalry right now, I can get resources from it, actually, and stats. So, interesting. No, I said it postponed. Fuck it. All right. I don't want to spend endeavors. Okay. Continue. Okay, so death count goes up 1. Population goes down 1 from 12 to 11. I put an X next to Oko. Every fucking time I get a specialization on a weapon, that's when people die. They can never persist, like ever. Never ever. Okay, so Oko died. And I'd say killed by Emily. Okay. Now, since that happened, I can cannibalize the body. And then I'll make a note that Emily will get a stat because she's the only one that was present during the death because she did it in secret. Okay, I'll just go ahead and add stat now before I forget. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. I'll just do it. So Emily will get a +1 in a stat. I'll say she's lucky. Give her +1 in luck. So she's at 2 luck. Sure. Okay, and then I also get a free resource because we do cannibalize. Let me just go shuffle the basic resources. Because we did find the body. If we didn't find the body, we would not have even known that she killed somebody. All right, so the resource we got was a... Wow, we got a question mark. That's even better. That's even better. Because I can use that for anything. Cool. Okay, now we continue. So we cannibalized, she got a stat, updated the death and how the person died. Let's continue. So she was caught in the act and is awaiting punishment. Select a table that corresponds with your settlement society principle and roll d10 to determine the fate of the murderer. So we don't have any of these society principles because we didn't trigger it yet because we don't have 15 population. Now we're back down to 11. So we do the no society principle. So we roll and see what happens. See, like this time it says roll on the table. And it's important because maybe sometimes it's supposed to roll multiple dice, or maybe a d5, you know what I mean? A lot of good content, but sometimes there's opportunity for usability improvements and clarity, right? Okay, so go roll, see what happens. It's a natural 10. Which I kind of hoped didn't happen. Okay, so it says, the murderer is heralded as the fiercest warrior in the settlement. And remember last time Oko was the person that this happened to, it got exactly the same praise. So someone kills him, and now they get the same praise. They gain +1 permanent strength, +1 courage, +1 understanding, and a skull helm gear card, which I'll just add it to the settlement. And then we add this to the settlement event to the timeline 1d5 years from now. Which sucks, because that means people just keep fucking dying for no reason. God. Ah! So I take the number divided by 2. It's a 1, which I round down, which I normally I round up, divide by 2 and round up, but I could say, well, okay, divided by 2 is 0, round down, I added 0 to the timeline, but I don't think that's how they want me to do it, so, alright. So this is added again to next year. So next settlement phase, we're gonna have up-teen number of settlement events, a bazillion. Okay, but let me add stats first. So she gets +1 strength. So it goes from 1 to 2. And then gets 1 courage and 1 understanding. Fiercest warrior in the settlement. And it also get a skull helm. I'll go ahead and mark next to her fiercest warrior in settlement. Okay. And then I add murder to timeline 1 year from now. Yeah, so next Lantern year, this could be at least, well, I'm saying right here, 5 settlement events. And here we've done 2. Okay, that's great. Alright, so that's it for this event. That's it for the events. Now we can develop. Okay. The good news is Oko was kind of worthless at that point anyway, because I couldn't send him out anymore, so it wasn't a total loss, but having another murder next year on top of we'll also be fighting the Butcher and other crap, it's like, and rivalry, and that's probably be a painful year. Most likely. Okay. So now we can make stuff. So we still have 6 endeavors. We just have less people in the returning party. So, and we did get additional resource. And some stats. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is innovate. So we're going to spend 3 resources and 1 endeavor. So I'll go ahead and pile up all these endeavors, because that way I'll show that I haven't used it yet. So we're going to spend 1 endeavor and 3 resources to innovate. Spending a bone, a hide, and an organ to innovate. Spent stuff I'll just put somewhere over here. Alright, so we draw, I've already shuffled the deck, so we draw 4, and we get to choose 1. Okay. We got family, forbidden dance, saga, and storytelling. Storytelling, like I said, we got before. It's interesting, but I don't know what white speaker is, and there's just other things I need to do so I keep ramping my settlement. Saga It's interesting if you get more people in settlements, but right now I'm just trying to advance the technology. That's what I'm focusing on. Family's interesting because departing survivors will get a bonus 1 to survival. And then it's a way you can pass on experience. So that one's interesting. But again, that's when you have kids. So that may be deprioritized for time being. Forbidden Dance is one I really want. Because you can keep giving people permanent evasion, so it's hard to hit people. And you can also give them possibly King Step Secret Fighting Art, which I can already do, so that's not really a thing. But what's interesting is if I give multiple people Synchronized Strike and they do it, I can re-roll if an attack misses. So that's interesting if I give people also Synchronized Strike, which I could do, which nobody has yet. But the main reason why I want this is because it allows me to do the Harvest Ritual, which you need to have Forbidden Dance, which allows me to convert any number of resources that are monster to an equal number of basic resources. So I can take any number of monster ones specific to a monster and then convert that into basic resources. Why do I care? Because it's an opportunity that I can turn resources potentially into something else. So if I need more hides, I could potentially get more hides. Something like that. So that's why I want to get that. That way if I get a shit ton of resources, I can convert it to something else. And have it roll the dice to try to get more of what I want. So I'm definitely going to do that. Because that's something that I need, especially when I start getting high numbers of resources. So, because these endeavors, you can only do these per person once per lifetime. So, and it's a gamble. So, I don't know. But it will give me other Forbidden Dance consequences. That might be interesting. But really, this card by itself is like, But it's more like the fact that I can get another chance at getting resources that I need. But family is also good. Because everyone gets a 1 survival when they depart. And it'll add more family stuff. So definitely one of these two. But I'm thinking Forbidden Dance for the reason I just said. It's like convert resources. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to learn Forbidden Dance. The Forbidden Hula. So I'm going to add this to the sheet, and then we're going to add Forbidden Drum Consequences, Forbidden Dance Consequences, also to our innovation deck. So we keep updating the innovations we can choose from. All right, so for this... Last Lantern year, we learned Song of the Brave, and this time we learned Forbidden Dance. So it's like we're the Song of Light and the Dance of Darkness. But it's like all these different like artsy things that we're pursuing. Forbidden Dance, I'll just state because I really don't care about anything else that I'll just flag it here. Harvest Ritual. Okay. So we learned Forbidden Dance, aka we learned Harvest Ritual, which we can do. So now that goes to our deck. And then I look for the Forbidden Dance consequences, which I'll look twice just to be safe because these do stick. Looks like we got heart flute. Wow, heart flute. God, it just looks. It looks like it's actually it's a flute made from a heart. Holy Christ, it's crazy. Okay, so it looks like there's just one heart flute, but let me make sure that's the only consequence. Looks like it. All right, so this goes to the deck of possibilities when we innovate next time. But Forbidden Dance is now ours, which AKA now I can do Harvest Ritual. All right. Okay, so what's up next? Now we have more endeavors and more things that we can buy. And now, also, we could do Harvest Ritual, also. It's also interesting to now have another question mark of a resource, too. All right, next one I'm going to do is leather making. I can turn any number of hides into leather. So let's see how many hides I need. How many leather? Because leather doesn't count as a hide, but you could turn hides into leather. Okay. So let's see. To do blood paint, that's no leather. Pickaxe, I need 1. If I recall. Okay, this I need 1. For the Phoenix gear, I need 1. For the red charm, I do not. For the hunter whip, I believe I do. I need 2 leather. And then for the shield, I need leather. 1 leather, 1 hide. Okay. So it looks like right here I need 6. I'll keep this open just depending on what I get when I fight next time. Alright. So it looks like I need 6 leather. 5 leather. Can't count. 5. Okay, so I'm going to spend Endeavor to do leather making. Spend any number of hide to add an equal number of leather strange resources to the settlement storage. So I'm going to be adding 5. Okay. I don't think I have 5 leather things, but it says you add it to the storage, so I can say I have 5 leather in storage, so I'll just do that. It's fine. Yeah, I'll just do that. Fuck it. So, I'll just add that to storage right now. So we got 5 leather. Leather times 5. Okay, so we made 5 leather. Now we still have 4 endeavors left. And we've spent these resources. Let's see, I was thinking about at the end, I want to do Shadow Ritual twice, which is a custom thing I added to my campaign. And then 1 battle paint and 1 scrap scavenge. That's what I was thinking about. So I think first what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just make the stuff. Okay. So to make the shield, I need a bone, a hide, and a leather. So I'll mark off 1 leather, so I'm at 4, and I'll make a shield. Which is awesome because this will allow me to for free cancel 1 hit from an attack, and it adds 1 to all of my armor locations just by having it, and it adds an action I can block. That's why I was really gunning for Inner Lantern, because that allows me effectively, you can spend a surge to get another action, and you can use your other action to block. That way I can attack and block the same round. But now I have to choose one or the other. But it's still really good. Okay, so I have... So everything here I'm purchasing. Everything out here I have. I have these resources. I have these endeavors. So I have a shield. Okay, next up I'm going to buy a whip. You may be asking why. Do I need the whip as a weapon? No. It's not necessarily a good weapon. But if I pair it with Red Charm, then if I ever hit, I have a 50% chance, regardless of what the enemy's toughness is, to always wound. But the main reason why I'm getting the whip is because I've had too many times on the hunt that you need a whip to save yourself. And that's why I want to have at least 1 on me. Just like why I have bandages, because what if somebody's bleeding out? You can treat them medically. Or same with the shield, if something's attacking our party, I can have somebody block the attack, was the idea. So it's like utility to survive in addition. Okay, so to make the whip, that's 2 leather and 1 bone. So I got 1 bone, and I'll mark off 2 leather. So now I have 2 left. Now I made a hunter whip. So it's got speed 3, accuracy 6, and strength 3. And on a perfect hit, can also discard a mood in play, which you can't really rely on, but it's cool that I can do that for free without having to spend an action. So if I'm just spending my action to just attack with Red Charm, let's say, then for free I could potentially remove a mood. Now I think the harp's better because I could do it at range for an action, but even still that only has 50% chance to work. But it's still better than this because this only has 1 out of 10 chance to work, but you roll 3 times versus 50% chance. So it's kind of the same odds. But it does mean I could use that instead of the harp on a person. So I have a hunter whip and a shield. Next up, I want to make the red charm I'm alluding to. The red charm costs 3 organs, of which I have 3 here. Why am I making the red charm? The red charm works like the blue charm. The fact that it adds a affinity, and then if you have 5 of that same color, it gives you a really powerful ability. This one it gives you is unstoppable. When you attempt to wound, instead you roll a d10. 1 to 5 fail, 6 to 10 wound. Which means it cancels the whole wound attempt. You just roll the dice. Now I have to check the rules to see if that means you don't even roll a hit location. You might not. It might say instead of, because that's all part of the wounding process. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, it just means that it doesn't matter. It definitely doesn't matter what the toughness is. If I roll a 6 or better, I wound regardless. So that's not necessarily needed for like fighting an antelope, but for doing these Nemesis encounters, that could be great actually. That's the idea. Okay, next up, to keep in line with trying to hit, I'm going to make blood paint, which you already know what that does. I just want to make a second one. That way I have 2 people that can do it. That way I can have the person with the hammers or a hammer and a whip go to town with 2 weapons. And then the person with the guitars can attack twice as well. So to make that, it requires paint, which I have, a bladder, and an organ. So I have an organ, but you do need a unique resource off the Screaming Antelope. That's the bladder. So I'm like, prime opportunity, let's go ahead and make it. That way also, if for some reason I lose one, I have a second one, but the fact that this is all proven as super powerful, it'd be great to have 2 of them. All right, so we have blood paint. Next one I'm gonna buy is the Phoenix Placard, because I want to start making the Phoenix gear now. Why? Because whenever I have a fucking festival, Hands of Heat, I eat half my resources. So I want to make sure that I've already spent and made the stuff. That way the number of resources that I have to lose is smaller, because the number of resources that I have is smaller. So I lose less resources total. But for that same account, that's why I'm also trying to accumulate as many herbs and vermin as possible. That way, when I farm the antelope next time, if I have to lose resources, I can just lose all of my herbs and vermin and keep all of the meaty goodness off the antelope. That's what I'm planning on doing. So the tribe can celebrate, and they can eat bugs and plants, but don't eat the meat or the hides. Gotta keep those. Okay, so to make the first piece of the Phoenix gear, the chest piece, that costs 1 iron, 1 leather, 1 tail feather, and 1 hide. So I have the hide and the iron here. That means I also have to get rid of a tail feather and a leather. So get rid of the tail feather that I had in storage for a while now, and 1 leather. And these 2 pieces. And I make Phoenix Placard. Now, why did I choose that piece first out of all of them? I will tell you. Number 1, it's because it's a chess piece. And whenever you roll on the whenever you roll one of these dice, you have 1 in 6 chance of every place to hit, except the chest, you actually have 2 in 6. So you have a 3rd chance. More importantly, it's because of the super ability that's on this piece. That it says if you have all of these affinities connected to the card, and the character is insane, you can ignore the first hit each round and instead suffer 1 brain damage. So that means every round, I could cancel 1 hit automatically. What if this person is also holding the shield? That means every round you can cancel 2 hits without using survival. That's huge. It's awesome. Cool, so we have that. The last thing I'm going to make is another bone pickaxe, because I want to keep farming for iron so I can keep making more pieces. So definitely going to make another one of these. I wanted to make 2, but I felt like it was more important to make sure I innovate every year, if possible. And I also want to make sure I had a whip, just because it could save my life. And I could have it replace the harp. So I don't have to take out additional space, because it also it's a mood removing ability, right? I'd say for a bone axe, that's going to cost 1 bone and 1 leather. So I have the bone here, and I'll get rid of my last leather. Boom. Awesome. So now we have a pickaxe again. So in total, what we bought was Phoenix Placard, Red Charm, Round Leather Shield, Hunter Whip, Blood Paint, and Bone Pickaxe. Basically, we bought like 1 thing from multiple different locations. Awesome. So I'm going to keep this rest of stuff here. Just this reference of other things I want to make. I'll think about making 2 shields. definitely turning stuff in Dried Acanthus. I'm just keeping it as a resource so I can expend it when I have that festival. Beast Knuckles was interesting because it's a better version of the Lion Guitars. Sickle I want to eventually get so I could farm herbs as well. And the counterweighted axe was just interesting because it's a better version of the King Spear. Alright, cool. So now we've made all the stuff we're going to make, but we still have some endeavors left. We've only spent 2. So next I want to do is a shadow ritual, which again, what that allows me to do is if I spend an endeavor and nominate somebody, I can have that person get a random disorder and has to skip the next hunt, but then it allows them to share any one of their fighting arts, secret fighting arts, or weapon specialities with 3 other people in the settlement. So we're going to do that. So what I wanted to share was extra sense, because I already have multiple people that have Red Fist. I already have multiple people now that have King Step. I want to share extra sense because it's so great. The fact that you can do multiple dodges. I want to share it with more people. So the question is who? This man has other stuff. So first I'm trying to see who I'm going to nominate to share it. So the people that have extra sense is 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4. Okay. Who's someone that can get a disorder? I prefer to nominate somebody that has no disorders. So maybe I'll nominate Sona to get a disorder. And then she'll give it to 3 people that don't have extra sense. Which, if I believe, is people that are haven't created yet. Which is fine, I can do that. Okay, so she's going to get a random disorder. I just need to shuffle the disorder deck first. Another strategy is you do it with somebody that has multiple disorders, because then that allows you to get rid of a disorder you don't want by default, which is cool. But you could also get something bad. But it's just a way that you can 100% get rid of a disorder you don't like, because if you have 3, you can get rid of 1. So, unless you have the bad luck of drawing one of the disorders you already have, then it doesn't count. But it's a way you can get rid of disorders if you have too many. Okay, so I don't have the specialization because, like I said, it's almost like a curse now. Like whenever anyone gets a specialization, either that settlement phase or the next one they die. That has always happened in the history of ever. Okay, so Sona gets Fear of the Dark, which I'll show you what the card looks like, but don't worry about trying to read it again because I'll read it to you. Okay. Fear of the Dark. You cannot bear the oppressive darkness any longer. You retire. Holy fuck. What? Christ. That means effectively I just lost somebody. Well, yes and no. Retirement means that they can't go out on hunts. But I could still then use them as a battery. So if I know this person can't go on hunts ever, I could use them as a battery just for taking shadow rituals in order to share abilities. So, but, oh, man, it sucks. She beats up Talkin, and now she's like, fuck this, I'm just gonna retire. Okay. Okay, so it says you retire. If you gain this disorder during a hunt or showdown, you put stuff happens which doesn't matter because we're not on a hunt. So it says you retire. Okay. Which was unfortunate because Sona had, again, a really high evasion. Add +3 to evasion. Not even from gear, just core stats. So it's like, ugh, that sucks. Fuck. And she also had Rhythm Chaser. So it's like she had all of this evasion. She was a good tank. So now I'm thinking is maybe I have to only do one Shadow Ritual and give someone else the Rhythm Chaser ability to take up her mantle. Yeah. Fuck. But again, like any fighting arts that she has, I could do Shadow Rituals to share with other people. So like I could still share Order of Death. And I can even share Rhythm Chaser that way. The other thing I kind of house ruled is you can only do a Shadow Ritual on somebody's mind once per lantern year. Multiple people can get abilities, but you can only have someone go through this ritual and blast themselves once. Okay, Fear of the Dark. Okay, so I don't put an X on her because again, like she doesn't leave the settlement. It just I can't use her to go on the hunts. So I can use her for other stuff. I can use her for Shadow Rituals or to be the target of stuff that I don't want to have someone else that can go on a hunt, possibly die, you know, etc., etc. Okay, so that was unfortunate. But now I get to share extra sense with 3 people. And I'm going to share it with people that I haven't created gear grids for yet. Probably just everyone that also has King Step. Nah, I'll split the difference. I'll give 1 to Sona. Oh wait, that was Sona. Oh shit. That was Sona. Yeah, so I'll share it with these 3 people. The 3 grids I haven't created yet. Who are going to get, they're going to get King Step and Extra Sense. Which is a pretty good combo, actually. I'm just making a note to add it to the gear grids later. Cool. So now I have a lot of people with Extra Sense, which was the idea. Okay, so that was a Shadow Ritual. So to remember that I did it, where can I put this? I want to make sure I've spent it. I'll put it over here because I see Lunacy. Okay, so I've done a Shadow Ritual, I've done Leather Making, and I've done Innovate. So I have 3 left. I don't think I want to do Shadow Ritual again because... Ah, man, that was really... I'm not gonna lie, that was a huge fucking blow. Because that person had high fucking evasion. Son of a bitch. Alright. Okay. Okay, so I know I want to spend 1 on Battle Paint. I know I want to spend 1 on Scrap Scavenge. So I think what I'll do is I'll give someone else Rhythm Chaser. That's what I'll do. So it'd be the person that want to have use a bow. That's Katara. That's Emily's spear. Sona has to skip the next hunt, but she also can't go out ever again, so it doesn't really matter. But Volva can come out. She'll most likely take someone's spot because I want her to level up her weapon. Who has Twilight Sword. So who's going to get... I think I'll have to be one of the new kids because I'll just give them evasion. That's what I'll do. So that's called Rhythm Chaser. So one of these people also has Rhythm Chaser. So one of these people now has 3 fighting arts. Of course, I don't have to give to that person. I could give it to someone else. Who else do I got? Emily. Bliss actually has no fighting arts and 2 evasion. You know what? And Talkin... Well, he's got 3 fighting arts, though. You know what? I'll give it to Bliss. I'll give it to Bliss. That's what I'll do. The question is would Bliss ever use... Well, Bliss, he uses clubs. Yeah, so maybe he wouldn't. I really want this to be the club person. Unless he's using a big club and running in close. Well, shit. Who else I got? Emily, Talkin, Volva. Man, Ismad really high evasion too. Son of a fuck. Okay, no. I'll give it to one of the new kids. I'll just make a note. I just didn't want to have someone have so many fighting arts that they couldn't acquire a new one for free during the fight was the thing. No, you know what? Fuck it. That's Savior. He's gonna save me from this situation. I'll give it to him because he has 0. So he gets Mighty Strike. That's not called. It's called Rhythm Chaser. Okay, so Bliss has Rhythm Chaser. So Rhythm Chaser. What's cool about the drums is you don't have to roll. You can just choose and do it, which is a good thing about that. Okay, so I've done bone beats, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 2 left. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is what's it called? Face painting, and I want to do battle paint. Now I have to roll 4. I got a 9, so that's a success. So everyone who departs will get +2 survival and +1 insanity. Awesome. And then for the last one, I already have practically everyone with extra sense, which is great. Some people have King Step, some people have Red Fist, so that's okay. For the last one, I want to try to do Scrap Scavenge and try to find a scrap. That's what I want to do. So let me see who I have to choose from, because there's also a possibility that someone can gain a courage if they roll super high. And if so, I want to be someone that is close to having that courage. I could have it be Bliss, but he ages twice as fast. God, is it really gonna be Emily? Seriously? Seriously? What I'm thinking is I'm also taking account this could be another murder. So the person with the most insanity is going to kill the person with the most hunt experience. Is the other thing. So like, I don't want Volva to have the most hunt experience because I don't want her to die because she has a Twilight Sword, for example. Well, yeah, because Bliss is more of a weapon that I can kill somebody with. I want someone who can persist. Because what I'm trying to do is if I give someone courage during the settlement event, that I can make it so that person has a matchmaker. But Emily could possibly get killed, Jared could possibly get killed, and Bliss is my weapon. So I might have to just go off somebody that's super fresh, that has no courage at all. It's possible I may not even roll that high, period, but... Ooh, what about Joy? How did I not say Joy? Yeah, we'll do Joy. Joy has 1 courage. Yeah. That's what we're doing. We'll do Joy. Great. Fantastic. Mission accomplished. Okay, so Joy is going to be the one that's going to attempt this. Alright, so for this, Scrap Scavenge. A survivor carefully searches the settlement edge, groping in the dark for pieces of broken lanterns and suitable debris. Okay. Basically, I have like a 40% chance of getting a resource. 10% chance of getting a courage. Otherwise, I lose a survival. Okay. It's a gamble. I'm just trying to get resources. And I know with scrap smelting, most likely that's turning scrap into ore. So I guess the only other thing is before I do this, is there anything else of higher value I could do with Endeavor? Yes, I could do another Shadow Ritual. I just don't want to. Extra Sense, everybody has practically... I have a lot of people with Red Fist, a lot of people with King Step, so I can make sure people have that. I already have all the buildings I can have thus far. I don't have the materials to special innovate. Oh, you know what? I know what I can do. I can do shared experience. Oh, but that won't give someone more experience. I'll just give someone who has less experience than the teacher a little bit of experience. Okay, that's not going to help. That's not going to help. I could do Harvest Ritual, but I don't have any resources I can currently do. Because it has to be monster resources. Not basic. But I wonder if monster resources includes basic. Because basic resources are off the monster. I'll have to look that up later too. I could try to trigger intimacy. That's true. Yeah. That's true, actually. I could try to do intimacy. I'd have to lose one resource if I roll bad, but then that person would gain one understanding. Very interesting. Yeah. Here I just lost a person. Well, I could gain a person potentially. But see, the other problem is if I'm not doing the paint, then if I roll bad, I can also lose people that were parents. So I really like that combo for that reason. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I really want to do the matchmaker approach. Okay, so we'll do it. Unless there's some other way to gain courage. Augury, you can potentially get understanding. This, you can potentially get courage, but you just have to roll really high. I wonder, do I have anything here that I can get courage? Let me check. I don't know off the top of my head. It's possible. Bloodletting, it's another way you can gain understanding. What about courage? Doesn't look like it. At least not from what I currently have. Okay, so we'll do it. We will look for materials in the dark. And here we go. We rolled an 8, which means gain 1 Broken Lantern resource. Booyah. Booyah. Awesome. Which I can't find. I guess there must be a basic resource. Oh, that's also interesting, actually. If you can turn monster resources into basic resources, one of the basic resources you can get is actually a Broken Lantern. Interesting. So it's a way that you can... So, like, you can do this as a way not only to get more hides, but also potentially more Broken Lanterns, which then you can turn into iron once you have the scrap smelting. Interesting. Oh, you want it? And I still have to add the skull to my society also. Okay, so we got a Broken Lantern. Yeah, I forgot what said that. But I remember we did something that we also got a skull. Maybe it was from the murder. Skull Helm Gear Card. Okay, I think we got a bunch of those, so I'll just make a note. Wherever that is. Skull Helm, we go from 2 to 3. So we have 3 Skull Helms. Okay. Alright, so we successfully found a Broken Lantern. Alright, so I think we're good on endeavors. So we did smelting, leather making, not smelting, scavenging, leather making, drums, face paint, shadow ritual, innovate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we've done all the endeavors. Face painting, I'll just leave over here to remind myself that I did get this ability for people that depart. Cool. Well, that's it for this summit phase. The departure phase I have included in the hunt stream because it's all strategery. So the next video is going to be the hunt. It's going to be against a level 2 Screaming Antelope. So look forward to round 2 against that guy. Most likely I'll do the similar strategy, except I may incorporate some of these new toys. But yeah, thanks for watching. We'll have hopefully a equally exciting and hopefully safer hunt. And we'll see what happens next time. Again, this is Ismortah, and hope you enjoyed watching the show.